Welcome to Studio 8601, the makerspace at Central Library. This is our embroidery machine, the Brother PE800. It has 138 built-in stitches, but you can bring in some more and import them on a USB drive, but you have to be in the file PES, PEN, or DST. Now you bring in your fabric to embroider, but we do have some supplies. We have embroidery thread, stabilizers. The stabilizers are just in the average sizes. If you need a lighter or heavier or different color, you'll need to bring that in. We have cutout, we have tear away, we do have wash away, and we do have heat removing. And you can always go into the website for Brother and look at the manual, or go into the Niche Academy for this machine and download the embroidery machine instructions. In this series, we're going to be talking about threading the machine, putting your fabric into a hoop, how to edit this machine, and also the actual embroidery. Every time you're going to be changing colors on this machine, you're going to have to rethread. It's a manual change of colors. Now, this uses machine embroidery thread. We do have some, but if you want to bring your own in, it must be thread especially for machine embroidery in a 50, 40, 50 weight. And depending on your thread, if it's very slippery, this is a net. It is helpful for especially when you're threading. Just follow the guides, the solid line. Now this is the tricky part. You can't really see it, but you have to make sure there's a take-up lever, and you must make sure you catch that. And sometimes you have to look down inside and see that it's done. And you can keep threading. Now this has an automatic threader, so if you're like me with older eyes, you can put it through. You don't have to try to find it. And then the last step is to put it through the little hole, and you're all set. We supply the bobbin thread, so unless you want black, you don't have to worry about the bobbin thread. You don't have to worry about winding it because we have pre-sealed bobbins. Okay, important part of the embroidery process is stabilizer, because you need that to basically what it says to stabilize your fabric in the hoop. Now there's different types of stabilizers. We do carry like the medium weight of most of the basics. We have tearaway. We have some sheets of that. We have cutaway, which is basically the kind you want to use for knits. We also have thermal, which is like you're going to use an iron to cut it. And then we have washable, which says what it means. Once you're done with the embroidery, you're going to wash it. You just have to be careful that if you have something that's non-washable, don't use this. And the same way, if you have something you can't put heat on, don't use this. And this is called basting spray that you can use to help put your fabric on the stabilizer if need be. Also, if you're going to do what's called a floating application, you can use that. Now, if you want a different kind of stabilizer or a different size, weight, you're going to have to bring your own. Otherwise, this is what we have here at Studio 8601. Hooping your fabric involves putting your stabilizer and your fabric into a hoop. We do have different frames. These are two basic sizes. This is like you need larger. This is for a smaller piece, which we're going to use today, because you don't want to use bigger than you need, because your stabilizer has to be bigger than your hoop. So what you do is take this off, pick your fabric, stabilizer here, and then your hoop will have little arrows and lines, so you can. And this is actually one of the hardest things of doing the embroidery machine, is getting your your fabric hooped up. Now, you want it firm. You don't want it like anything bunched up. You want it there's like very taut. And you might have to move this around a little bit. Now, next step hooping is, you see you have these little, this is going to be, you move your things aside. You're going to take your hoop, put it in here, and you're going to line up these little openings with these like little hooks. Right here, and you're pushing this, and then you let go. And you can see that it's on there firmly. Now, if you're going to do like a t-shirt, what you want to do is like, say, I ironed the center. And so what I'm going to do is like, say I want my design is going to start here. I'm going to like make a little X. And you would probably like, might have to use like a ruler if you want. But this is just going to help you center it onto your thing. So anyway, you want to make sure you're not going to cut the back. And so since it's a knit fabric, you want a stabilizer that won't tear. And you want to cut it so it's longer than the hoop. And you always want the hoop, this to be the bottom one, with these little hooks facing downward. I'm going to stick this underneath here. And there's different ways of doing this. This is the way I'm doing it. Just so I can get it smooth. And then I'm going to stick this underneath here. And you just want to like get it so that it's centered in here. And you want it very gently, you might have to, you don't want to stretch it too much because you don't want to distort the fabric. And then when you're ready, you can put this here, and you want to make sure your X's match. And then when you're ready to go over to the machine, you want to make sure. And you can like get tape, you get like clips, and you just wrap it around here. And I always double check, make sure that nothing got underneath. And then you would just, and as you're going, just make sure things didn't get pushed under. And then you just embroider it the regular way. Okay, so here it is where you pick your pattern. We have like different kinds like monograms. There's also different types of fonts here. And if you want to do a frame, you can just pick the frame. There's different versions here. And each, you can see that every time I hit here, I'm going to a different one. So let's go back. And and every time you want to pick another one, just keep going through. These are built in. And so, let me see. Now, so if you want to pick it, see, and this up here is showing you like what, you can't use a baby hoop on this. So I'm going to pick this particular one. Now you can move it. You can move it down here. But it's very good. It's like, say you want something closer to the edge, but you don't want, you know, it's hard. You hoop your fabric like this and you realize, I really need it further down. And you can do this. Or if you don't want, you hate that, you go right back in the middle. You can also change the size. Like these are different things. It makes it smaller. And this one makes it bigger. And then there's like, if you just want to put you're going to change everything here, but I want to bring it back to where it was. And you go, okay. You can also rotate it. And if you don't like it, you're going to reset. Now here, you can pick colors. I don't usually tend to do the colors because what I do is I just line up the colors as I'm using in the order I'm going to be doing the embroidery. But you could go here and change, like say you want to change certain colors of the thing, you can do that. And see, I want to revert back to it. And if you really hate this, you can delete it. And so now I end the edit. Now it's time to embroider. So you click on here, and you want, make sure you press your foot down, and then you see the light change to green. Okay, so let me find my scissors here. So what you do when you're ready, it's green. Keep your hands away. And what I do is after the first few stitches, and you can always stop it at any time, and I trim away just so it won't get in the way. And so now you're basically just watching it to see, if you see any problems, you can stop. And this also shows me that this particular section is going to take 4 minutes. Okay, so when it's time to do the next color, you'll see it stops, moves it, and it tells you to put the next color in. And it also automatically cuts the thread. And so you pull this out. Okay, so there you're ready again. So press your foot down, press the green, and then it's all done. So it stopped, it says finished embroidery. You're okay. So you lift it up, and then you come over here, you release the hoop by pushing this forward and pulling up. And then you can see where it went across. You could do trimming. And this is what it looks like in the back. And you can see the white embroidery bobbin thread never came back up. So go ahead and take out your thing. And this is the tearaway. So you can just go and, it goes just right around. And here's your finished piece of embroidery.